A Thread of Magic, Part 3. It might have seemed far from over, but at least the situation was much clearer now. There's a bad agent somewhere in the building, and they had to find him or her before they do anything else, assuming they are planning a second act. Now would be a good time to look around discreetly. Hugo found Zu and told her the news. Are you serious? Well, that's unexpected. You don't need us here right now, so Artem, Jean-Claude and I are going to look around and see if there's anybody suspicious. They must be still here and planning something else. I'm going with you. No, you should stay here and keep an eye on things. Don't be ridiculous, I can leave this selfie feast for 10 minutes. The more of us cover the territory, the faster we find someone. This person can be a dangerous wizard. No offense, but your charm won't match his spells. Okay, easy. I promise I won't do anything by myself. I'll let you know if I come upon something suspicious. Don't give me that look. I'm going. I'll just look around backstage. It was a lost cause. So they dispersed, each of them pretending they were just confused guests who'd lost their way to the bathroom. They had 15 to 30 minutes before the show had to resume without annoying the guests. Not much to walk around the entire building and neutralize a dangerous foreign wizard. After 10 minutes of futile search, he'd found nobody except Polish technicians. Hugo decided this was a very stupid way to go about this task. He stumbled upon Artem, whose search results were equally useless. Okay. Our first thought was this person would try to hide from the public eye and operate from a hideaway place, but it obviously was wrong. He began thinking out loud with Artem. So, they must be hiding somewhere backstage. It's the darkest under the lamppost, right? Artem added philosophically. What if they are not here? They just planted the spell and left. Oh God, I wish they would have asked me to put up security walls around this venue. I would know. Anyway, let's go backstage. If that person is there, Zu is in danger. There will be a lot of people there. She's probably safe. Never underestimate the stupid things a Russian operative might do. Fair point. They went off towards the auditorium and the backstage. What I fail to grasp, though, is why anybody would bother to disrupt the Warsaw startup fashion show. I mean, it's not a sector of strategic importance, Artem posited. Italians would say it is, Hugo smiled. Along with espresso bars. All right, espresso bars are a sector of strategic importance. Don't forget the wine. Oh, don't get me started. French wine is superior to Italian, we all know that, Hugo said with an absolutely adamant tone of voice. Debatable, although I can concede when it comes to bubbles. You don't know what you're talking about. While Hugo and Artem began, once again, one of their never-ending discussions about wine, Zu was looking around backstage, walking among the seamstresses altering the dresses that had already been shown into something else under Adelaide's command. This was a nervous, bustling environment, with a lot of people being busy, running from one place to another, trying very hard to create something with the scarce amount of time they had left. Zu found Adelaide and asked her to talk somewhere private for a moment. Okay, I'll make this real quick. Do you know everybody here personally and do you trust them? Yes, I've employed every one of these seamstresses. Why? Oh, just making sure. There's something you're not telling me, said Adelaide with suspicion. Okay, maybe you should know. It seems there is a Russian agent somewhere still trying to sabotage your show. Don't panic, Hugo and I are dealing with it. Now go back to your dresses, there's no time to waste. Zu looked around. But if Ada trusted all those women, she should look someplace else. But where? Hugo sent her a message saying they hadn't found anything. And yet something looked strange around her, but she couldn't really pinpoint what it was. She moved farther backstage. Okay, this was probably the moment when she had promised Hugo to back down. But what could possibly happen? She could always tell anybody that she lost her way. She reached the decor storage area, which was a vast hall with hundreds of various decorations from previous shows. A perfect place to hide. And worse, a perfect place to surprise someone. She suddenly became more vigilant. That's a really creepy place. She suddenly missed the selfie stand. But there was no time to lose. They must find the saboteur and find out what this person's second act was about. This thought made her stop. How would she sabotage the show? She would tamper with the dresses. Still, Ada knew and trusted all the seamstresses. Zu knew little about magic, but she was sure someone tampering with the dresses would have to be close by to do anything precise. Then she looked up and saw the masks from some kind of exotic-themed show. Of course, a glamour spell. Now she was almost sure what was so strange that she was unable to pinpoint before. One of the seamstresses, an elderly lady, moved surprisingly fast for her age. Of course, she knew a lot of vigorous elderly ladies, but still, they weren't as fast and precise as that woman. She quickly came back to Adelaide and the seamstresses. Ada, who is that woman in a white blouse over there? Oh, this is Zofia, one of my family's friends and a wonderful seamstress. She seems very vigorous for her age. Oh, she's always been a very capable elderly lady. Maybe a false lead. Then she had an idea. Do you have her phone number? Can you call her home? Are you serious? Please? You're getting weirder and weirder. All right. Ada made the call. Someone answered on the other end. Zofia, what are you... She didn't finish the sentence. A blast hit them both. In the midst of Hugo pontificating about the superiority of French terroirs, they felt a blast from afar. Kurwa mać! Hugo shouted. They both ran towards backstage. They stumbled upon one of the seamstresses who seemed visibly panicked. There, someone attacked Miss Adelaide and Miss Zuzanna. Go, quick! She gasped. They ran. Her voice was a bit too shaky, and she moved surprisingly fast. Hey, stop! Hugo cried towards her. Artem managed to counter the blast. Go, take care of Zu and Adelaide. The show must go on. I still have the power to stop her, you don't, Artem said. Hugo ran, terrified that something bad might have happened to Zu. Please, not Zu. One of the most beautiful souls I've ever known. Adelaide was slowly waking up, but Zu remained unconscious. Hugo ran up to her, and for a moment he panicked. God, please. Please, not her. He felt her pulse, but it was very weak. She was very pale. Hugo knew he had very little magical energy left, but it didn't matter. He had to use everything he got. But first, go back to work. You won't revive her by staring at her. You need to save this show. Do your job. Slowly, one by one, Adelaide's team got back to work. Hugo knew their anxiety would create a stream of negative energy and interfere with his healing, weakening it. And he couldn't waste any drop of his magic. He had to save Zu. He prayed again, began to breathe very fast for a few moments, visualizing prana entering his body. Then he mixed it with whatever he had left and created a healing spell. He wasn't particularly good at them, but the blast was from a basic spell, so at least he had a decent chance of using the right counterspell. He infused Zu's body with his magic. Nothing. Oh God. It must have hit her harder than he thought. So please, please come back to me. He knew he couldn't despair. It would ruin the spell. He had to keep his vision pure, a vision of Zu healed, waking up, regaining life force. He felt so weak, too weak to have the power to keep the vision. God, please help me. Please help me have hope. Please help her. He looked at Zu and thought about what a great, wonderful friend she always was. What a sweet, loving, and happy human being she was that he was so lucky to have in his life. He felt love, pure love, and with love came sacrifice. He gave her all he had, and with sacrifice came the golden stream from heaven. After that, he fainted. What woke him up was a whiff of particularly strong perfume and the sight of pink stripes. Oh, thank heavens you're alive! He felt a terrible ringing in his ears, probably the result of energy depletion. But he was conscious and apparently still in this world. And he couldn't have been happier seeing those pink stripes. Oh, I guess I should be thanking you. He pushed himself up from the floor. He saw Zu, still dazed, but slowly regaining consciousness. Thank God. And then he remembered Artem. He turned to Jean-Claude. We must go. You are certainly not going anywhere, Jean-Claude replied. Hugo explained to him about Artem. Oh, I'll go. You may think I'm a dandy fashion blogger, but I still have my fighting skills from school. And now, I'm really furious. Hugo had to admit, he really liked this guy. This was not an equal fight. Normally, Artem would have found his match, but the guy was well prepared, rested, focused, and he perfectly knew the terrain. Artem was new to this place and was tired after all the work, but he was a strong and experienced man, so he still had some chance. The Russian was trying to escape through a narrow corridor. He had to stop him. He couldn't let him get away with it. The narrow corridor had one disadvantage though. There was no chance to evade his offensive spells. Each time he had to shield or counter, then immediately respond with his own attack. This was exhausting. However, this guy was fast. They emerged from the corridor into an open space. A very strong blast hit Artem straight in the gut. The blow stopped him, leaving him dazed for a moment. The moment his opponent needed to get to the door, Artem felt weak. He could barely stand, but he knew he can't let him go away. They will lose him if he does. He gathered whatever he had inside him and unleashed a freezing spell. The Russian was surprised. He evaded, but not fast and far enough. His left arm and leg were frozen with Artem's spell. At least he won't run away fast. Artem fell to the floor. There was not much he could do. He felt sick. The Russian guy opened the door and, stumbling, vanished into the darkness. Zu, are you all right? Oh, I have a terrible headache, but otherwise I'm fine. What happened to you? He saved you, and then he needed to be saved himself, said Adelaide. Who saved him? Jean-Claude. Zu turned to Hugo and smiled at him. Thank you. My pleasure. Now we must stop that guy. Jean-Claude followed him, but I don't think... Oh, he looked very determined. I think he'll cope, added Adelaide. Now, excuse me, I have my show to save. Then she turned to Hugo. I owe you. We all owe you. You saved more than just a fashion show. The bustle around the dresses went on. The models began to prepare to go out. Fuck! The spell in the power box. Zu, we must go to the power box, otherwise they won't turn on the lights. But you're too weak, you can barely walk. We must. Can you hold me? I can do it with your support. Oh, I do it. My job is already done, said one of Ada's fashion designers, a man in his 20s. Still, I'm going with you, said Zu. Don't you have enough of adventures already? Hugo asked her. She gave him that look, and went to lead the way. They went down the stairs and reached the door leading to the technical area. It's behind this door and to the left, Hugo told them. Zu opened the door and let the men in. The corridor turned left. Suddenly, Hugo felt uneasy. Oh no, this is... He had no chance to finish. The Russian agent emerged from around the corner, startled, stumbling, with a panic in his eyes. Is this how it ends? And then all he saw was blinding white light.